Well, while many find it to be the most wonderful time of the year, the winter holidays can feel like anything but jolly for people dealing with grief, loneliness, seasonal depression, or even feeling overwhelmed with a never-ending to-do list. We're joined this morning by Christy Harris, Wellness Education Specialist with Gundersen Health System. Good morning. Thank you so much for being with us. So let's just start with a new survey that shows nearly 40% of Americans don't feel like celebrating the holidays this year due to feelings of grief or loss. What is your advice for them?
So I think one of the things that we need to do is not put so much pressure on ourselves. It doesn't have to always have the perfect holiday.
Right.
There's no right way or no wrong way to celebrate. And if this is a little bit of a time that you're struggling, be kind to yourself and take care of yourself the way that you need to in order to be okay through the holidays.
What are some ways people can take care of themselves?
Well, it's so easy when we get busy with things to feel like we need to put so many things, and we only have 24 hours in a day, right? So we oftentimes will get rid of sleep, which sleep is so incredibly important. I never recommend to anybody to get rid of that. So keep that sleep at a good steady pattern for us. Make sure we're getting our regular meals the way that we do, we're getting our exercise, and don't overcommit yourself to something. There's always a lot of things that you have to do or that you feel like you have to do over the holidays, and just fit in what you feel is appropriate. And if there's something you're really, really dreading doing, if you don't have to, don't make that commitment.
Right.
All right, you have permission to say no.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
And we know that the holidays can also be triggering, for some as well. Maybe it could be someone who's no longer here. It could be just spending time or too much time with family, or sometimes those political conversations come up as well. So what are some ways people can set boundaries for things like that?
Yeah, there's some good ones in there.
Yeah.
So the first one I would say is if you have the loss of a loved one, again, there's no right way, there's no wrong way to celebrate. Take the time to honor the person that you love and you care about that's no longer here. And sometimes that is doing the same traditions that you've always done. Sometimes it might be making some new traditions if that's what you feel like you need to do. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. For those places that you need to go where there could be some challenging conversations, oftentimes we know that in advance. And so if it is a place that we know that we need to be at, one of the things you can do right away is if someone starts to go in a place where you don't feel comfortable, you can just set that boundary immediately and say, I know that politics are really important and there's a lot going on in the world right now. Today, I just want to focus on us being here and celebrating our time together. And if we could avoid that topic, I'd really appreciate it. If it doesn't go that way, if you're there with someone else and you feel like you're at your capacity, whether it's that type of a situation that you're in, or maybe you're just really ready to go, if you can have kind of like a code word or some sort of a sign for each other that I'm done. So that, again, you're not stressing yourself more than you need to. Go ahead and take advantage of that opportunity as well.
All right, so again, saying no and boundaries, very important. So the holidays are particularly stressful for moms. There's so much to do: cooking, cleaning, shopping, making the holiday magic happen, right? So do you have any tips so that we don't lose our holiday cheer while, we feel like we have to do it all?
I think the biggest thing is just my saying for the holidays is remember the reason for the season. And if we start to feel like we're getting overwhelmed or that things are getting to be too much, remember, if you don't have that perfect gift, or if that meal didn't turn out perfectly the way that you wanted it to, the most important thing that people are going to remember is the time together and the memories that you're making. So what if you forgot, oh my gosh, I forgot to put, whatever the meal was in, and we're going to be running a little bit late. That's okay. Those things are going to go on. But it's the time with the people that we love and we care about that's important. And that's the stuff, that's that good stuff that helps to feed us. So it does help us to get through those stressful days when we have them.
And money is also another holiday stressor, right? So especially in times of like record inflation and debt and things like that. So, what can people do to kind of manage that as the holidays approach?
Oh, so many good questions this morning. Okay, so when it comes to finances, I think one of the most important things people can do is figure out what is your budget. The second most important thing to do is to stick with your budget. So if money is a little bit tight, with a lot of folks it is, and that's okay. It, again, doesn't have to be that perfect gift. Maybe that gift might look a little different this year. So you could give things such as like heartfelt gifts, things that maybe you can make as a family, or maybe instead of gifting some sort of a physical present, maybe you're gifting your time to someone. So maybe it's, going in and checking on somebody, or making a commitment to go see a loved one so often, or helping maybe a neighbor or a loved one that might need some help with shoveling over the winter, or helping to get to the grocery store, or helping someone that has little ones at home babysit, or whatever the case may be. Those heartfelt gifts that don't cost us money, but it feels good to give back to someone else at a time for something that they might be in need of.
And then quickly, we don't have too much time, but if we do start feeling overwhelmed, what are some quick ways that we can kind of just take a moment and regroup?
Yeah, so first of all, just take some nice deep breaths. And just remember that this is just a part of the year. Before we know it, it's going to be done and over.
Right.
So the most important thing is to try to be fully present as much as possible. And one of the ways we can do that is getting good sleep, trying to stay with our normal dietary routine, and as much as we can, getting some sort of exercise in, and getting some sunlight and things like that are going to be those things that can help us to feel good.
Easier said than done, but very important advice.
Very important. And don't forget your boundaries. Saying no is okay.
So important.
All right, Christy, thanks so much for being with us. And stay with us. We will be right back after this short